So you think a little green Muppet won't work in a Star Wars movie? I find your lack of faith disturbing. Hey everybody on YouTube, how's it going? I'm Ty McDougall and welcome to my channel, and it goes without saying that this is the best of the original Star Wars trilogy. May 21st, 1980 saw the release of Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back, and fans had their minds blown in every way imaginable. This movie hit you in the gut, and it was our first example that having a different director to helm a Star Wars movie was actually a good idea. Directed by Irvin Kershner, The Empire Strikes Back had a lot of visual differences compared to the first film. Much like A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back had a lot of amazing visual effects for the time, and that's one of the many things I loved about this movie. They took everything from the first Star Wars, made it 10 times better, and showed us more worlds and creatures within this universe. The animatronics for the Tauntauns were realistic, the stop-motion photography for the AT-ATs were awesome and still hold up today. There are a couple of shots of the Imperial Walkers that have just the right lighting and misty haze that made them look all the more real. Planet Dagobah was one huge set, but it had to be a built set to accommodate what was quite possibly the best character in the whole movie, Jedi Master Yoda. Brought to life by Muppet wizard Frank Oz, the wise yet whimsical little alien won everybody over, both in the realism of the puppet and the vocal performance of Frank Oz. When Yoda reveals himself to Luke to be the master he seeks, his entire demeanor changes, and to make that work with a puppet is damn impressive. George Lucas has doubts about resorting to a mere puppet to portray a character, but all doubts were abolished once Frank Oz was on the job. Through Yoda we learn more about the ways of the Force, and that touches on some deep philosophical stuff. The story of Empire took the characters in new directions that helped them to evolve. We see changes and growth in Luke Skywalker, for example. He was a young farm boy who longed for adventure in the first film, and here in Empire, he is an accomplished commander in the Rebel Alliance. We see a dark side to him though, as he is reckless, impatient, and eager to prove himself at almost any cost. The romance between Han and Leia begins to develop in some cleverly written ways, and Darth Vader is on a personal quest to not only find and eliminate the rebels, but to find Luke Skywalker himself. No one knew why at the time, but the reason is revealed later. We also get our first glimpse of the Emperor pre-Ian McDiarmid. Yeah, I'm going on the original version here, guys. This movie didn't have any epic space battles like A New Hope or Return of the Jedi, but it did have an intense space chase sequence. Han Solo takes the Millennium Falcon into an asteroid field to escape the Empire, and through either sheer skill or pure dumb luck, he makes it.
Sir, the possibility of successfully navigating an asteroid field is approximately 3,720 to 1.
Never tell me the odds.
John Williams again did an amazing job with the musical score that accompanied that scene. Another new character introduced in Empire was Lando Calrissian, played by Billy D. Williams, who is an old friend of Han Solo and fellow scoundrel. Lando provides some levity in this movie, but as a plot twist, he reluctantly double-crosses Han to appease Darth Vader. I mentioned earlier that Luke was eager to prove himself, as he tends to rush in without thinking, and that comes back to bite him in the ass. The lightsaber battle between Luke and Vader on Cloud City is arguably the best part of the whole movie, and the most epic lightsaber battle scene in the original trilogy. This is where Luke bites off more than he could chew and gets his hand sliced off by Vader. I also mentioned that this movie had some reveals, and none more shocking than when Darth Vader tells Luke that he is his father.
Well, that's fine, but I don't see how that affects... What?
And that's the reaction I see on YouTube from people who have watched Empire for the first time. In that moment, everything changed for both the characters and the fans. I mean, no one saw that coming, no one knew what to think, and no one knew where this was going to lead. Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back was a darker story that had you on the edge of your seat, had you in stitches, had you frightened, cheering, and had you believing in the Force. This movie had it all, and it left on such a cliffhanger. Star Wars fans loved it, but at the time, The Empire Strikes Back received mixed reviews from the critics. Rotten Tomatoes has given it a score of 94% with an average rating of 8.9 out of 10. But I'm giving Star Wars The Empire Strikes Back a Titan rating of 10 out of 10. It is the best of the original trilogy, and it deserves no less. If I wanted to, I could dedicate an entire video to picking out all the flaws in this movie, but there is more to love than hate in The Empire Strikes Back. It keeps up with that adventurous style of storytelling, grabs you with intense moments, philosophical discussions, epic battles, shock and awe, while still being a fun ride from start to finish. The style of direction and quality of sets and effects are noticeably different from the first film, and some of the blue screen shots are painfully obvious, but the story, the performances, and the way these characters play off each other are all so beautifully done that you don't care about the puppet strings or outdated effects. I love all the Star Wars films, and A New Hope will always be a nostalgic gem. But The Empire Strikes Back is my personal favorite, the best of the original trilogy, awesome on so many levels, and that's why I've given it such a high score. But what do you guys think of The Empire Strikes Back? Whatever your thoughts, share them in the comment box. I am Titan McDougal, and thanks for watching, guys. I do appreciate it. Be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned for my review of Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and I will see you on the next Titan review. May the Force be with you.